All right, we are joined here with Andrew Smith with Circle Logistics, brand new TIA board member. So congratulations, Andrew, on being elected to the board.
Thank you.
Yep. Also, he's a very busy man. Also chairman of our Fraud Vendor Advisory Committee. So appreciate your support on that. Well, so want to talk about fraud a little bit. Obviously, it's a huge topic at the conference here. What are some of the latest trends or tactics that you're seeing kind of on the fraudulent marketplace that our members should be aware of?
Sure. So that's a broad question, right? But fraud is what's different about fraud right now is it's gone wider than ever. If there's more types of fraud, and it's not just in freight, right? It's in accounting, it's in the customer side, and it's deeper than ever. And so I think that there's two things that really have the most financial exposure to brokers. The one thing we're seeing is kind of cluster theft or pilferage theft, where maybe you're moving 20, 30 loads of electronics, they're taking 4, 5, 10 pallets out, they're 2/3 of the load. The seals are still intact. It gets delivered, the bills get signed off on, and no one catches it till many months later when the retailer, wholesaler decides to do inventory. And the Fraud Vendor Advisory Committee, we're putting together a white paper from all the vendors in the space. Super excited about that. I think that's going to help paint a little bit of a picture of a playbook for brokers on how to prevent that, what to look for. And so that's, there's not many, most brokers I know have been hit with this in one way or another. And it's very hard to insure, it's very hard to find, and typically months have passed before you realize anything's gone wrong, which presents its own issues too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned the Vendor Advisory Committee. For those folks that may not be aware, this is a relatively new initiative that we started at TIA. Why don't you kind of talk a little bit about what the Vendor Advisory Committee, who's comprised within that committee, and kind of what you're working on?
Sure. So we've got two other brokers that are co-chairs with me, and then we probably have 20 or so folks represent different companies that brokers work with, from carrier onboarding, carrier monitoring, carrier compliance, legal, IT solutions. And one thing we're working on, we'll have out real soon, is we're going to do a little bit of white paper on what should you have in your vendor stack when it comes to fraud prevention, right? Do you need a lawyer? Do you need a PI? What kind of carrier compliance should you have? What freight tech should you be looking at? So we're really excited to put that out, because I think for us in my company, we probably have 2 or 3 vendors in every one of those categories. And it really, to fight fraud and prevent fraud effectively, you need almost every tool that's out there, because there's not one tool or one rule that is all-encompassing to fight all of your fraud, right? And so we're really excited to get that out. That's input that's come from every single one of the members on the committee. I think it'll be super helpful once we get that published to all the brokers.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we really appreciate everything you're working on with the Vendor Advisory Committee, and again, joining our board of directors. So thank you for your leadership.
Thanks again for having me.
Awesome.